Hello, everyone. This is Bo from Bo's Slow English. And for the first time ever, I have my friend Taehi on here. This is my very first interview, and I wanted to do this so that you can hear me speak in normal speed in English. So if it's too fast for you, read the caption above. Taehi has a very interesting life story. I wanted her to come on my channel because she has experience with learning English language as an adult, and I would love for her to share some tips and tricks to help you guys with your journey. So in our dialogue, we will both be speaking in a normal pace, like a normal native English speaker. So it might be a little challenging, but you got this. All right. Hi, Taehi.
Hi, Bo. Thanks for the invite. This is so exciting.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you. I have so many questions. I do know a bit about you, but I get to learn so much more today.
Yay!
So where were you born?
I was born in Seoul, South Korea, long time ago, many years ago.
Okay, and when did you come to the United States?
About 20 years ago, my dad is a physician, so he did a medical research with one of the state universities in United States. So our family had privilege to come here with him.
Wow, I didn't know that. And that's how or why you decided to move to Oklahoma from Korea?
Yes, my dad looked into different universities in East Coast and California. But as you know, living expenses are very high, higher than Oklahoma. And so he chose Oklahoma for that reason because he was also supporting my grandparents back in Korea. So that was a great choice for him. In fact, that was good for my brother and I as well, because I started learning English and that was not easy. And generally, the Midwest English is a little slower than East Coast. So it's easier for me to get accustomed to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Has anyone told you that you have an Oklahoma accent?
Yes, I never knew until I moved to California.
Yeah.
I'm a physician assistant. I worked in neurosurgery. And neurosurgeon I worked for, he told me I have a twang.
Yes.
So I said, no, I don't. But from that point on, I started listening to myself. I realized I do have some of that.
Yes, and you should embrace it. I tell my subscribers who I get asked this often, how can I sound more like a native English speaker? And I think that question could have multiple answers, but I know where this question is coming from. I feel like it comes from a place of perfection or a little bit of anxiety, like, is this native English speaker going to understand me if I have my native accent? And so I always respond to my subscribers with, first of all, you probably know enough English for me to understand you, and you don't need to worry about getting rid of your accent, because having an accent is part of your identity, and you want to be different nowadays. That's how it is. Would you agree with that?
I agree with it. I was trying to almost erase my own accent. I come from Korea, so I have that background. But I realized people who are bilingual, trilingual, they do have accent, and I think people actually are respected because they can speak different languages and they have different cultures they bring to the table. So I don't think anyone try to learn English, try to get better with grammars and conversations, but accent, I would say keeping it a little bit, it kind of gives you your characteristics and flavor. Yeah,
Yes, gotta have some flavor.
yeah, that's my
Um,
opinion, but
yeah, I agree. When you think, do
Mhm.
you think in Korean or English?
I used to. Now I think English first because it's been 20 plus years ago. But it was difficult for me initially because I always had to think in Korean first, then translate into English, then it makes sense in English culture, right? American culture. And so when I first came, I used to bring my little electronic dictionary with me all the time. And I would think in Korean and then I would type it in, then translate it into English and create a sentence that makes sense for them. Um, it was a lot more work at that time, but not anymore. So it took a while, but all the hard work paid off. But at that time, as a college student, it was not easy. Yeah, I can tell you that.
So you came to America when you were a college student.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the most difficult time to come to a foreign country. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow. Um, and I mean, back then you didn't have Chat GPT. So when you didn't understand someone, how did you ask them politely to repeat themselves?
I think I used to tell them, and important to smile at them because American culture, you don't want to just go straight to the person, and it almost sounds like fighting if you don't have that manner. So smile and excuse me. Could you repeat that for me, or could you say it in simplistic term, or something like that? Something more, polite, but that way they can repeat. Or if they don't understand, then I say, English is my second language,
Mm,
or
good.
Korean is my mother tongue. Learning how to speak English. So I know it's not easy for me. So please repeat for me, or something like that. That way they can slow down whenever they speak with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, nowadays, it's cool to be different.
Yeah.
And I think when someone meets a foreigner in America, it sparks curiosity and it might actually start a separate conversation. Do you mind if I ask, where are you from? I love your accent. Do
Yeah.
you have that experience?
Absolutely, they do. They do ask me those questions quite a bit, and usually start with the conversation about food. How they like Korean food, how they
No.
love kimchi. Um, so it can be really fun. You don't have to speak really well. Just like something simple about kimchi or whatever the Korean food you like, you can kind of share those memories. And yeah, it just, and I would say one of the most important thing when you're learning any language, be confident. And then when you say sentence, say it with confidence. And then that comes with a lot of courage, but it brings you more chances to talk to, people, and make friends. And it's easy to learn English that way once you have more friends and just have conversations, things like that. And I'm an introvert, so it was not easy for me in the beginning. Um, so one of the things I also did, I watched the TV show called Friends. quite a lot. And actually, there's a lot of Koreans, they meet up how to speak, English using this show, Friends. So that actually helped me a lot how to speak like Americans. Yeah.
Where did you meet these other Koreans where you would discuss the show?
When I was back in Korea before coming to US, there's a lot of, I can't remember how to say it. It's like a group of students you can meet up.
Mhm.
It's called academy, but it's not really academy. It's more of an institution where you just go for English classes. It's private courses, and then you can just make friends there and meet up once a week, once every other week, and then just try to speak like Americans. Yeah.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. I have a dream that I would like to manifest. And if you don't know what manifestation means, it just means that you really, really want something, and then it comes to life. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
something that I'm manifesting is to host a meetup in South Korea with some of my subscribers, but I'm shy because
Well,
my Korean isn't good. So I will have to learn some Korean from you.
sounds good. Perfect. So you can teach me high level English now.
So I want to go back to your way of asking someone how to repeat what they said. Do you mind saying it again, but a little bit slower for my subscribers?
Of course. So I say, if I don't understand, hold on, excuse me, could you repeat what you just said? Or could you explain that in a simplistic term?
Awesome.